All right. Good morning, everyone. Or good evening for you. What is it in Germany?
Almost 4.
Okay. Buenas tardes. So I'm here with Michelle. How do you pronounce it? Seagren?
Seagren, very good.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good. See, I need help all the time in English names. Okay. And I'm here with Michelle Green. She's a wonderful mom of 2 boys. And we know each other from how many years ago? Like 2 years, I think.
2
2 years.
2.5
Yes.
maybe. Yeah.
2.5. And I was attracted to you from the first moment we met because you were all about really looking for curriculum that will work for your boys. Like you were all about that, like trying and looking, and you really took the time to every science and math. We even had a curriculum get together at your house.
Did. I had it again the other day here.
Yes, and it was amazing because you bring other moms to talk about not just the curriculum, but what is it that your kids need? Like,
Right.
How do they learn? Like, you're really individualizing, customizing the learning experience for your children. So I knew for the first time that we needed to become best friends. Like, okay, I'm your friend. Like, even if she doesn't want to.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
You're sweet.
very,
Thank you.
very inspiring. And the reason we are talking today is because I told you, you are in Germany and you're teaching Spanish to your kids.
Right.
You're a homeschool mom. Anything else? Talk to me about anything else that we don't know about you.
That's it. I mean, we're
Well, wait a minute. The military. You are a military mom.
yeah, we're an Army family of 25 years.
Thank
We've
you for
moved
serving
around.
the country.
Thank you. Well, I don't do it. He does it. But,
Well, you do it. I mean,
I support it.
yes,
and he
exactly.
works.
Yes.
So I mean, that's it. We have 2 boys. We just got back to Germany in July, end of June, 1st of July. We've been here before. We were here a total of 11 years. So now we're back again. And we're hoping to stay as long as we can. We're actually thinking about trying to figure out if we can get to Spain because there's an Air Force base there that if he retires,
Yes.
we can, if he retires, that's the question of the hour. If we can get there. But no, we're an active duty family back in Germany and, with 2 boys and I'm in my homeschool room now. You can see all my books behind me. The dry erase board is over here and boys' desks and everything.
I know. When I went to your house last time, it was amazing. It was like entering into a beautiful classroom. Like, you made me feel like, okay, I need to do a better job. Like my school room isn't a garage and it looks like a garage.
Yeah. We're in a bedroom. We're in a small bedroom now, so we're in tight quarters at this point. So,
talk to me about your own Spanish experience because you have some background.
I do. Yeah. So, my parents are actually from South America. They're from Argentina. But when I was up to about the age of 5, maybe a little bit after 5.5, we lived in Spain. We actually lived in Tenerife, which is one of the 7 Canary Islands. Mm-hmm. So my first language was Spanish. Mm-hmm. I spoke Spanish con los zetas, así.
Con las zetas, porque eres una española.
Mm-hmm. So I spoke very different from my family. So when we went to Argentina to visit, everyone loved to hear me talk because I spoke very different than the Argentinians.
Oh,
it was kind of like having someone from Georgia go to New York and kind of speak, like a little 5-year-old. It was, my mom said I was
or maybe like a Guatemalan speaking Spanish.
Exactly. When we moved to the States, we moved to Texas, and my dad said no more Spanish, only English.
Oh, wow.
And so I lost it. I lost a lot of it. And I can still understand it because, when we got in trouble, my mom always yelled at us in Spanish. So we always knew.
Michelle Seagren! Ven acá!
Dame la oreja. So I lost it. And I didn't know how much I knew, really. About 7 years ago, we went to Spain for a week to Tenerife, right, where I lived.
Yeah.
And I would carry conversations with people. And we went back to the hotel room. My husband looks at me and goes, so you know Spanish? And I looked at him. I'm like, who knew? I had no idea that I had it in me. Wow. So at that point, I mean, the boys were 4 and 5 years old. Yeah. And at that point, I realized maybe I should start teaching them Spanish.
Yes.
So I grew up with Spanish. I understand it fluently. I speak it conversationally. Mm-hmm. I can read it for the most part. Mm-hmm. Writing it, that's a different story.
Yeah. But I think the most important part is you can communicate. You can survive. Yeah. And that's what I tell my students. Hey, I want to make sure that if you are lost in an island and they only speak Spanish, you know how to survive. Then we take it from there. So, and I think that's the foundation, right? You were exposed and now you remember, and it's in you. Yeah. And I think that's what we're trying to do with our children, learning Spanish at an early age. And just, it's not just only about the curriculum, but it's also about the environment, how you feel and think about the language. And
right. And speaking of curriculum, now we can jump over to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably tried 4 or 5 curriculums, And I promise you, when I say it, the curriculum really doesn't matter, right? For me, for Spanish, math, it matters. Science, it matters. I mean, you want a good core. But with Spanish, what I've learned is you have to do it. It doesn't matter if the curriculum is superb or not superb. If you don't do it and you don't practice a little bit each day, forget it. It's something that has to be like math. You have to constantly keep using it.
And you never arrive to the end. And it feels messy, because I know you're a very organized mom. I always admire you, that about you. And I felt sometimes when we were talking, you wanted a straight line where something, it felt messy for you to start getting involved in that. And I feel like sometimes that's what we as parents need to overcome. It's like, okay, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to feel messy, but we have to do it. Let's jump.
Right. Yep. And at the end of the day, when I compared all the curriculums, I kind of like made a little chart in my head, like, what do I like the best of all of them? And I kept going back to your curriculum. Like, I love the videos. I love the cutouts, little things like this. I love to do little things like this. And of course I laminate just because I'm a dork.
I know, you're the perfect mom. That you like.
No, I'm a dork.
Okay, listen, I did not laminate my stuff, and I was the teacher and doing it. And then when I saw you think, wait a minute, the mom is laminating things. I started laminating. I purchased my laminated, machine, my things like that, and I became a Michelle, like doing things, organizing.
That's so funny.
You're very inspiring, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, at the end of the day, I had to choose a curriculum. I kept ping-ponging back and forth, and the boys just kept learning different things. Mm-hmm. And some curriculums were all the way up here, teaching verbs and, how to conjugate this. And when you're 2 years old, you don't need to know a verb in English even. You just need to learn how to speak it.
You just say it. Yes.
Yeah, and so when I looked at that, I looked at all the curriculums, like, okay, which one is learning to speak? That's what I need. And I went back to yours, and here we are.
Gracias. And thank you so much for giving me a chance. So let's talk about the challenges. Like, imagine a homeschool mom, okay, doesn't know any Spanish, like you have some background, but you understand what it is to be, you're in Germany and you don't really understand everything, right? In Germany.
Right.
Yeah. So can you talk about the challenges that a homeschool mom has? No language background or some language background, and having to dive into elementary, teaching elementary, multiple ages, family, dealing with so many other things going around. Talk about the challenges that you face.
Yeah.
How did you overcome it?
Yeah. So if we're going to think of conversational Spanish, we start from the very beginning, just like when they're toddlers, what do you want to eat? So I started making notes. I used to do it on sticky notes like this, but I hated how they come off the wall.
Yeah.
They curl. I hate that. So I did a postcard. So I would put a postcard in the kitchen, in the bathroom. And so I started asking everyday questions. ¿Qué quieres a comer? ¿Qué? What kind of question am I asking you? That simple. So to me, it was getting Spanish in everyday life, which the good thing about that is you can do it. It's not like science. Well, I guess science you can get into everyday life, but you're not going to stop and pull over and look at the flower on the side of the road, but you can in the car ask, ¿Qué color es la flora?
Yes.
So you can ask. So I think that integrating simple sentences, con qué, dónde, where, things like that. But I had to make notes. Even though I know Spanish, I still had to make notes to remind myself to ask. So I'm excited to get to we started over the curriculum because 6 months of hiatus. I can't wait to get to like the kitchen or the eating.
Oh, it's amazing.
I know. So that I can't wait because that's part of what I'm trying to do is everyday life and sometimes if you need to write an index card has a lot of little lines. Write yourself a question. Stick it in wherever you guys are at the majority of the day.
And I think that's the beauty about elementary age. You don't have the pressure of the requirements. You don't have the pressure that it has a credit. It's just, it is fun, but it takes discipline and it takes action.
Exactly. And sometimes, like I try to put a cartoon on in Spanish. That's been a little bit challenging just because I feel like they talk very fast. And so, my boys are not, they are fast. I need a slow speaking cartoon. I don't think it exists. But also 10-15 minutes a day. That's all it takes. Spanish.
Even 5 minutes.
Yeah, Spanish. And I try to alternate between doing a worksheet. I don't like to do worksheets often, but I'd like to alternate between worksheets. If there's days that I don't have time to do anything because either I'm busy doing something else or we're trying to get out the door, I play the videos.
Yeah.
I play your videos. I play your review videos with Isabella, yeah? Elizabeth. And it's that simple. Sometimes it's just reviewing. Again, it's like math. If you do a little bit of math every day, you're not going to forget it.
And I think, Michelle, what you're saying, that concept of building.
Yeah.
Always is so important because like right now, as I am recording the new videos, I'm recording right now. I'm finishing topic 8, and it's all about the farm. But guess what? The last topic is going to be 8.4 is grocery, and it all comes together, and we go back to topic 6 to talk about not just the food, but now how we prepare the food that we learn in topic 6.
Right.
And right now, for example, I am planning the lessons for topic 9, which is all about clothing. And guess what? We're going back to topic 4 because we're reviewing the seasons, the weather, and the clothing that goes with that.
Yep.
And I think that's so important. So it's a process that it takes patience. And sometimes as homeschool parents, we want, okay, we're doing this, we're moving. Next, we don't need to go back to that because we're done. And it's not like that in Spanish.
Not like
you
that,
have to go back and go back and go back.
And that's very, if you think about it, that's very classical. You know, classical is going back and repeat it. You don't do it just one time. You go back and you repeat it, you know, over and over again. And that's why I love it, because it breaks it down with, I use the sentences with whatever we're doing that week. You know, whatever subject we're doing that week, those are the sentences that I am using at home throughout the week. And so, yeah, it works. It's a building, like you said, it's a building block. And then you repeat it and you go back. And it's habit forming. You have to have a habit of doing it. And it's hard, but I throw it, you know, with homeschooling, it's a little bit easier because I can throw it in throughout my day. You know, but it could be as easy as the kids are having a snack and you hit play and Senora Mirona will be on your screen while you're eating your snack. It doesn't have to be a formal sitting.
Yeah, I understand. Now, listen, let's talk about the vocabulary part, because I give a lot of vocabulary and I recognize that.
You do.
But I think vocabulary is like the core of what, if you don't have vocabulary, you don't know what to say.
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about strategies. How do your kids learn and remember the vocabulary?
Repeat.
Okay.
Sometimes if in 1 week I've only been on, say I'm topic 1 point, I think we're on 1.2 now. If we're on topic 1.1 or 1.2, I don't keep going. Like I don't feel like I have to go to topic 3 because we're on week 3. Okay. You know, like if you feel like you have not gotten in Tia, those type of things, then repeat the week. That's okay. This is not a race to speak Spanish. This is a process of learning what we're trying to teach.
Now, let's talk about mastering, because you really got into what I remember last year, I think. You really got into, I want my kids to master things. And when you started talking about that, I started thinking about what you were saying and really do more research about it. And even though I'm a teacher, you know, sometimes as teachers, we have the pressure that we have to cover content. You know, we have, so when I'm wearing my teacher hat, it's like, I need to create content. I need to teach content. And I keep going because I am in my teacher hat, right? And I think when you talk about it, it just makes me realize, wait a minute, I need to pause here, because I was listening carefully what you were saying. And as a mom, as a teacher, and by the way, moms are teachers. We teach our kids how to use the toilet. That makes us teachers.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you know, but then talk to me more about that concept, because it really, literally, you really it changed my mind in certain things that I was doing, and it really made me pause and think about my best practices as a teacher.
Right. To me, if you don't master something, not that you have to be a perfectionist, right? But my boys are 11 and 12. So they are supposed to be 5th and 6th grade, but my 5th-year-old is I only teach one curriculum. I'm not in the business of teaching too many, but my boys are 11 months apart. So I have the luxury of being able to teach them together. Okay. My theory in homeschool life, and I think it should be a theory across the board for education, is that we're planting seeds, right? We're planting a seed right now. They don't have to know everything at every single moment, but I want you to master just these few things. And next year, we're going to master these few things. Yes. The following year, we're going to master these few things. So each year, I'm planting a little seed of each. I'm very Spanish. Can you tell? I'm going to try to sit on my hands. Oh, there's my husband.
Hi!
Hola! Sorry, he was getting that.
Okay. I love it. Yes.
So to me, mastering is not master the entire periodic table. Don't master the whole thing. Master the first 10. Have fun with the rest of them. Sure, you can learn about the other elements, but we're going to master the first 10. So for me, our first week, I just want them to learn the prima and the cousin name. So that's where my master is, in a beginning sentence and an end sentence, right?
Yes.
So that's okay to master, but you do have to come up. That's one thing that I think, and what I like about the curriculum as well, is there is all of this to choose from, but as the parent, I'm going to choose what they get to master. And
that is so true, because listen, when I was in the classroom, we were giving these textbooks, workbooks, and guess what? There is no one teacher I know that covers the whole textbook.
No, exactly.
So one of the things I like to do is give parents a choice. Okay, here are 68 pages worksheets. You choose from the 60 which ones do you want. So you know how to do it. Here are flashcards online if you feel like your child wants to learn more online. Here are the Montessori cards if you are the parent that don't want anything to do online. But the key part is what you're saying is the full sentence is important. Learning the vocabulary word with it, like saying esta es mi prima, mi prima se llama Vanessa. You know, so it's just knowing that the kids are understanding that prima is cousin, but we are teaching them with the full sentence, full context.
Yep. Exactly.
That's wonderful. Now, let's talk about how do your kids practice speaking skills, because that's the challenge in many houses, because nobody's Spanish sometimes. And how do we? Can you tell us some ideas how to practice speaking?
So I would like to. That's a great question. To be honest, I'm still in the search of that. Okay. Spanish books. I try to do as many Spanish books as I can, whether we're in the dentist office waiting for a dentist or whatever, reading, asking questions. I try to really, if we're getting ready, like when we get to the close, I can't wait to start.
Wait a minute. You know, you say something right. Reading is speaking. If you read aloud,
of course.
If you read aloud, you're speaking.
Yeah. And you don't have to read.
And singing a song is speaking. If you're
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, and you don't have to read a chapter book. I mean, just get a little picture book, and that's all. I mean, you are beginning just like they are beginning in Spanish. But asking daily questions, I think asking the daily questions is a big part. And I want them to, sometimes they answer me in English, which is fine.
It's fine.
Because I feel like as long as they understand what I'm saying, that's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
But I do want them to start answering me in Spanish. One thing that I do a lot of is I play games. I'm a big, if they do games, to me, they learn quicker than if I give them a worksheet, right?
I'm getting ready to do some videos, short videos about how Elizabeth and I play the bingo games using full sentences. So be ready for that. Because it's something that the kids can do on their own once they know how to use it.
Yeah, but like this one, like the cards.
Yes.
I put them on the floor and I would say, ¿Dónde está tu prima? And they'd have to give me the card.
Yes.
And then they would say, aquí está mi prima, London.
Oh, wow.
So and I try to change it up. I have it on the whiteboard. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, I can see it. I can see.
Yeah.
I know. Look at that. I mean, and look at my whiteboard. It's empty.
Well, I don't want to redo it every week.
No, you do great. I love it.
Yeah. And then I also have taught them in your curriculum. You don't have it in the curriculum, but I taught them no tengo una prima or no tengo una amari, because they don't have a little brother.
Yeah.
They don't have a grandfather. So I try to tell them no tengo, I don't have.
Okay, but you're giving me, but this is the thing about me. Like, I want to know what parents do and need. Because in this case, okay, you're giving me two great ideas. Saying, no tengo. I didn't think about that. You know, so you know, like, families, Hispanic at large, we have everything.
Oh, well, I was going to say, you're Latin families, you guys have everybody's covered. It doesn't matter. Los primos, la amarita, whatever. They're covered. You know, and being in the military, we don't have.
But you gave me that idea, and there was another thing that you say that I have to go back to the video, and you just gave me a wonderful. Okay. Oh, you know what? You gave me an idea right now to have suggestion questions for parents. Like, just have these questions. Parents, ask these questions to your children.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah, and it's an easy card. I mean, I've gotten to the routine now of asking, but it's an index card. Yeah. And you put a lesson for the week. You just put it whatever room you want to be in the car. Make a few. And have them spread out throughout the house. And
I think what we are learning from you, Michelle, is that we don't know where our kids are going to be in 10 years. However, you're saying if we're putting the seed, wherever they decide to do and be, they have that language skill under their belt. Right. Exactly. And the beauty is that you are trying to expose them to culture, because I know Spain is in your radar. And I think that's important that the kids look forward to something. Okay, I'm going to get to practice my Spanish if I go to Spain. But I wanted to say one more thing that you're doing, which is amazing, about the interactive part, the community. You started a Spanish class in your co-op community, right?
We did, yeah.
And for me, it's like, you know, and I'm not saying that we all parents, like, I don't have the time to do that, to do and say, hey, I did a community. I would love that, but I could not do that. But I think when I think about what you did, is like you wanted your kids to have a community so they can interact. And you recruited other parents to do it with you. And I just feel like that was amazing. Like what you did.
I have a Puerto Rican friend here, Emily, and we're going to do it together. So I've kind of told her that she's the one in charge, just in case I am like, I don't know how to say that word. And she helps me. She corrects my Spanish when I need it to be corrected or whatever. But we're excited, and everyone's excited. And, you know, I tell them log in, get all your information. But So
and I think that's something else that some parents can do. Parents can look for a community that have Spanish class, and they can join that if they don't want to do themselves.
Yeah, you don't have to do just this. I mean, this curriculum is great, but this can be your foundation, and then you build upon that, right? You just keep going. So yeah, but no, we started to come up. I'm so excited. We start on Wednesday.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Now, listen, any final thoughts for parents? I can't think about anything else. You just covered everything.
I know.
Anything?
Let me look. I even wrote notes here.
Yes, look at your notes and tell me.
Yeah, ask daily questions. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, let me tell you one thing I absolutely love that I'd never used until this time that we started up again is the interactive links.
Which
the ones with you and Elizabeth.
Oh, yes.
We name her till Isabella. I don't know.
Okay.
On Isabella.
Well, let's call her Elisabetta.
No, Elizabeth. But you guys do quick little videos, interactive videos, and what you do is exactly what I do. So the days again when I don't have time to stand here, or I don't have, I need them to be interactive with something else, I press play on those videos.
Yes.
And so those interactive videos are one of my favorite features.
Now, listen, Elizabeth and I, we started doing something new, and you're gonna be excited about this. We started writing our own books that goes with
nice.
So now, like, we just did a test one, and let me know what you think. So we did the topic about the school, and we actually wrote a book about a schoolroom. And because it was kind of hard to find a specific book sometimes that students can read at that level. So we decided, well, let's create a book. Another thing that we decided to do with Elizabeth, because my daughter is involved in this, we started doing cultural lessons. So it's a space.
Yes, and that's my other one. That was the other one that I absolutely love. We haven't started it yet. We're gonna, I don't know, I have to look in the curriculum to see.
So the idea is that as the students learn the Spanish, they also learn the culture. Because there is a big connection, it's just the fact that I'm trying to teach not just my kids, my own kids, is that, Spanish is not a subject, it's a connection to other people. The language will connect you to people. And so this is why we started doing the geography and cultural lessons too. And let's see, I'm waiting for parents to tell me. I'm looking forward for your feedback about this. But this is a few things that are coming. Another thing that I wanted to tell you as you move on, Michelle, is that I do phonetic practices where students practice pronunciation. And I believe in topic 8, I start doing reading lessons at the beginning of each lesson. So I'm adding. So after we finish knowing how to pronounce each phonetic, because pronunciation is important. Sometimes students do not speak because they don't know how to pronounce. So I integrate the pronunciation part, so my students will learn how to pronounce. So after doing phonetic exercises from topic 1 to 7, I believe, now we dive into reading. So I'm going to start teaching reading and writing. So we're going to be doing writing too, because I do believe, like your kids, they know already how to write in English. They're learning all these words in Spanish and sentences. So for the kids that are able to write, in topic 3, I introduce them how to write sentences too.
That is perfect. That is perfect. And if people have littler ones, like mine are a little bit older, but like if I were to do this when they were in kindergarten, I wouldn't worry about the writing right now. I would just do all the topics and maybe repeat the topics. Very similar to the curriculum that you and I used to do when I did a few years ago, right? Where you repeat a cycle, at least two times, you repeat all 3 cycles. So that's the same thing. That's the same theory, is you're repeating it and then you're adding more to it, which is my theory behind you planting seeds. We plant a little seed from each thing that we want to look at, and when they get older, those seeds start to blossom. Maybe one of my kids end up being a linguist, and they want to go into Spanish and study it harder. Okay, then you learn about the verbs. Then you learn more in depth about X, Y, and Z. But right now it's just planting the seeds. And if you get those ideas in their heads, and one day they're going to go somewhere and they're going to hear something that they recognize, like when we went to Barcelona, they recognized a few words, and so it was nice. It was nice for them to feel comfortable in that realm.
And one of the things that sometimes parents tell me, parents talk to me a lot and say, I don't want my kids to be like me, to know but not to speak. So that's one of the things that I hear a lot from parents saying. Another thing I hear students, because I come across a lot of young college students. So they tell me, they say, I wish once they graduate after college, they say, I wish my parents wouldn't make me speak Spanish, things like that. Right. So, and I think as a homeschooler parents, we have the power to influence the learning of our kids. How far can they go? How deep can they go into something?
Exactly.
I so appreciate your inspiration, Michelle. It's an honor to have you as a
friend. Thank you.
To have you as a colleague, because you are the parent that tells me what's working and what's not working. And that's good, because we have a community also. The curriculum has a Facebook community where it's a private one. So parents reach out to me sometimes, and I have office hours that, that you can stop by. Well, I don't know how it works for you because it's Thursdays at 6 o'clock. What time is it over there? So it's 6 p.m. So
no, 2 in the morning.
You're sleeping. Well, let me know if you need your private office hours. I want to give it to you.
That's fine.
Okay. But I so appreciate your family.
You're very welcome.
Yes, and we will keep in touch.
Yes.
And maybe this is not our last interview. Maybe we're going to have a second one, like a follow-up.
Maybe we'll have a laminating.
A laminating session. But thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome, Kadeem. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Adios.